Hi everyone and welcome to semester 2, the spring semester of 2015. I'm Mrs. Giesbrecht and I teach geometry, algebra 2, and pre-calculus. Here's my family. I have 2 boys and an awesome husband, and I've been teaching mathematics for the last 13 years to middle school, high school, and even college level students. So welcome to a new semester. There are kind of 2 parts to today. So if you are let me go back one. If you are a returning student, you will only need to watch part 1. If you are a new student, then I would like you to watch part 1 and part 2. So in part 1, we're going to talk about how you guys need to come to one live math session each week. And this is a change even for our returning students, is that now you can either attend in person or you can watch via Ustream. So there's not going to be Illuminates anymore. We're switching that out with a new program called Ustream, and I'm going to show you how that works today. Then in the second part of my presentation, we're going to cover your curriculum, your assessments, all of the things associated with K-12. So that will include what does a typical day look like, where to find the answer keys, and how to turn in your answer to today's essential question. So everyone, whether you are returning or not, you will answer these 3 essential questions to show me that yes, you did watch the recording for today. And the first one I'd like to know is what grade you earned last semester for math. Secondly, what do you plan to do differently this semester? And lastly, where do you find the answer keys? So I want you to fill in the blanks. You're going to click on blank, then blank to find the answer keys. So that's going to show me that you know where to find those because those are crucial to your understanding in a math class. So please press pause at this point in the video if you need to copy these down. These 3 questions will be up again at the end of our session today. And then press play when you're ready to resume. So again, like I was telling you before, there are 2 parts to the online school. The first part is that you're going to have that one live weekly session, and then part 2 is all of your curriculum that's available through K-12. So let's focus on part 1 right now and how you are going to get to those live sessions and what that looks like. So part 1, you have 2 choices. You can watch it via Ustream, or your second choice is you can attend in person. So if you are attending in person, this is a requirement for any student who has a D or an F in the class. So if you have a D or an F in math, automatically you're going to have to be on campus with me in person for once a week. But if you have an A, B, or C in the class, then you can watch via Ustream. We would still like to encourage all students to attend in person. That way you get more of the teacher interaction and you guys can have some group work time. But again, if you do have an A, B, or C, you are allowed to watch from home. So here are our time slots for math right now. If you are in geometry, it's going to be Fridays at 11. And if you're in Algebra 2, it's going to be Wednesdays at 9. Both of these are going to be located in the main high school lab on campus. And pre-calculus is still to be determined at this point. So if you have a D or an F, you will meet with me live at this time in the high school lab. If you have an A, B, or C, you will log into Ustream at Friday at this time to watch the live session. So what is Ustream? It's a live streaming video channel. Students are still able to ask questions through text during the live sessions, but it will be a video of each teacher instead of, before Blackboard used to be a whiteboard screen that you guys would look at. Now you'll actually be watching a video of your teacher. So the teacher will be in person with a group of students, and then those watching from home will be watching that same interaction happening. So how are you going to access these sessions? It's going to be accessible under Class Connect, so left-hand side of our classroom. Oops, it jumped on me. I'm trying to grab my pen tool here. It's going to be on the left-hand side of our screen under Class Connect right here. When you click on Class Connect, it's going to have your live session info. So this is geometry right now. So Fridays at 11. And then here would be the Ustream link if you are logging in from home because you have an A, B, or C. So again, we'd love to see all of you guys in person, but we know that's not always a reality in an online school. So D's and F's in person for sure. A's, B's, and C's, hopefully we will see you in person, but if not, you can log in using the Ustream link right here. So if you have an A, B, or C and you cannot attend live because maybe you have a doctor's appointment or something like that, all of the past recordings are now going to be posted on each teacher's YouTube channel. So here would be the link to my YouTube channel. Let's go over the information that you see at the very bottom of the screen down here. So you get 10 points for these live weekly sessions. If you watch it within 1 week, you earn full points. If you watch it within 2 weeks, you're getting half credit, and it's no longer going to be accepted after 2 weeks because at that point you are too far behind with where the class should be, and it's not going to be worth any points to you. So you can't be turning in a week 3 during the week of finals, which is like week 20. So that's not going to be acceptable anymore. So we need these to be submitted on time in a timely fashion. That way you're keeping current with all of the class assignments. So you don't have to memorize these links. You can find them under Class Connect on the left-hand side inside your classrooms. So the recordings are going to be posted on your teacher's YouTube channels. Each teacher is going to be creating one. When you click on my link, it takes you directly to my playlists. Sorry about that. I thought I had my pen. It's going to take you directly to my playlists, and each class is going to have a link for their playlist. So here's going to be the pre-calc weekly sessions, Algebra 2, and Geometry weekly sessions. So right now there's no videos in there because we have just started this semester, but as we go through, this orientation will be in there after I do this recording, and then week 2, week 3, week 4. So you'll just click on the week that you are trying to watch, and that's how you will access those recordings. But again, live is better. You shouldn't really need to be accessing the recordings if you're going to the live sessions. Okay, so at this point, if you are a returning SCOA student and you don't have any questions, you are able to log out. But if you're not able to answer all 3 parts of the essential question yet about where to find the answer key, then you do need to stick around and watch the rest of this recording. So everybody else who's new, make sure you're stay tuned. We still have a little more to go through. So part 2 of your online school is the K-12 portion. So K-12 is where you're going to find your lessons, your curriculums, your assessments. Every day in math should take you approximately 60 minutes. So here's what you do each day. We're going to look at the announcement to see what's assigned. Then there are 3 parts to every day. Number 1, read your online lesson. Number 2, complete your bookwork. Number 3, take the quiz. You never want to jump straight to the quiz without doing steps 1 and 2. You are not going to do well if you are trying to take shortcuts. There are no shortcuts in math, unfortunately. You've got to put in the time, you've got to put in the effort. So let's kind of walk through. I'm going to come back to number 2 and we'll do a little more detailed version of where to find your answers. That way you can fill in both of those blanks in just a minute. So 20 minutes for part 1, 15 for part 2, 10 for part 3, and again, those are approximate times. The most important part of our class is a math notebook. I'm asking that you get a spiral notebook just for math. Oops, I keep thinking I have my pen tool on. Sorry about that. Get a spiral notebook just for math. So what's going to go in it? The notes while reading the online lesson. Remember that was step 1. Step 2, your homework assignment. And number 3, your quiz problems. So basically all 3 steps that we just talked about on the last slide is what's going to go in your math notebook. That way, as you're taking your quiz, the quiz looks just like the homework. So if you're having a problem, you are allowed to flip back, check out how you did the last problem, and then move forward on your quiz. It's not cheating. It's a benefit of having taken great notes. So I want you to think of your math notebook as a one-stop shop for all of your examples and your work. You can turn your homework problems into me. They're worth 2 points of extra credit for each one you submit, and we'll talk about that more as the semester gets underway. But yes, you get credit for the homework. A couple of our school/math policies is that your quizzes and tests can only be taken 1 time. That means you have to study, you have to be ready before you click it. So once you click begin, you have to finish it at that time and submit it. Here's why you can only take them 1 time. Because after you take it, if you go to your gradebook, you can click on the grade and see all of the right answers. So it's a fantastic way to study, but now you know all the answers, so we cannot reset quizzes for you. There is a timer on your quizzes and tests, but you can ignore it. You have as much time as you need. You do not get kicked out even if the time runs out, as long as you're pressing the Save Answers button. So the timer is really just to tell me, hey, did this student take 10 seconds on a 5-question quiz, or did they really try hard and it took them like 10 minutes? So it's just for teacher information. I really do want you to be successful in the class, and I want you to know that I can see how long you've spent in every part of the classroom. So if I pull up your user activity, which you are also able to look at your own user activity, you're going to see each lesson listed 2 times. The first time is the actual online lesson that you're supposed to read. The second time is the quiz. So lesson, quiz, lesson, quiz. So if I see 0 minutes being spent on the lesson, that means you're missing the teacher portion of the day. You are trying to jump straight to the quiz, and you're probably, I would say 99% sure, not going to do well on it unless you've seen the material somewhere before. So you really need to be putting in the appropriate time to get the grade that you want in this class. So don't take shortcuts. Now, what are you going to do each day? You are going to look at the announcements. The announcements are the first thing you see when you log in to our math class. Anything that has an open envelope has been read. Anything with a closed envelope, you have not read it yet. So I'm going to click on one of the announcements and open it up. So the one that you are going to focus on each week, well, you're obviously going to read all of them, but the main one that's going to tell you your assignments is the one that's called weekly assignments. It's going to give you a day by day by day view of what you need to be doing. So let's, for instance, we'll check out next Thursday. So next Thursday, we're going to start on 1.02, and here's all of the things that you have to do for 1.02. It lists it. You're going to read your lesson, you're going to do some problems out of your book, you're going to take the quiz. So remember that those are the 3 steps. The step 1, read the lesson. Step 2, do your book work. Step 3, take your quiz. So that's pretty much what each of our days look like in math. So let's take a peek at what a lesson looks like. So on the left-hand side of your screen, you are going to I'm trying to get another pen color. Left-hand side of your screen, you're going to click on Unit 1, and it's going to open up all of the lessons in Unit 1. So since the lesson said we're supposed to do 1.02, we're going to click on 1.02. And again, you're going to see it listed 2 times, right? The first one is the lesson, second one is the quiz. So when it's highlighted, that means that's the one I've clicked on. In the lower right-hand corner, it tells us how many slides there are. So this particular lesson has 17 slides. So if I see you spending 2 minutes on 17 slides, that's a problem. So as I click through a couple things we want to be looking for, these are very interactive slides. So for instance, on a page like this, they're going to be asking you to click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. And then you can always check your answer, which is very cool. They are very interactive. If you see things that are underlined with a blue, underlined in blue, that's a vocabulary word. If you click on it, the definition will pop up. Also, sometimes you have slides within slides. So on this slide, there are 3 additional slides that we need to be clicking next, so that way we can see all of the information. If you see a play button, the play button means it's a video. So at all times, keep your sound and your volume on. Also, if you see the little TV symbol, the TV symbol is also a video. So you can click on that, and that would be a video as well. Usually when you're about 2 slides before the end, see how I'm on 15 of 17, it's going to tell you to go offline and do your offline assignments. It's going to say read these pages in your book, do these problems. These are the same problems that you're going to see from the announcements. See how you're getting the information in multiple places. So these are the same problems that are assigned in your announcement area for that particular lesson. Geometry is just a little bit different. So that was what Algebra 2 looks like. Geometry, it's going to say complete these problems, but you may be thinking, where do I complete the problems for? For geometry, it's actually a problem set. It's a worksheet. So you're going to have to click on that blue link. And when we click on the blue link, it's going to open up like this. Couple choices for geometry. You can either print this out and write right on top of it, or you can use your own lined paper and solve your problems on lined paper. So where do you check your answers? This is part of your essential question for today. So to check your answers, there are two parts. You are going to click on Unit Resources. So take a minute and write that down, how to check your answers. This would be the answers to your bookwork or to the worksheet. And then you're going to click on Materials. So the two things that fill in the blank is Unit Resources, then Materials. What's so great about the answer key, you guys, is that it's not just the answer, it's every single step to get you to the answer. So it's a really great tool. So here's what happens when I click on Materials. Here's lesson 3, here's the solutions. Here's lesson 4, here's the solutions. So you would simply click on the blue link that says solutions and you would get all of your answers. If you are in my pre-calculus class, the answers to your checkups will be posted in doc sharing. So that class is just a little bit different. So a copy of your book. If you have not received a copy of your book yet, that is okay. You do not have to fall behind for any reason. You can find it right inside the classroom by clicking on a reference guide and problem sets. This is for Algebra 2 and Geometry. If you are in pre-calculus, there is no textbook. So you don't have to worry about that. Everything you need is found in the online slides. So unit close dates. It's really important for you to stay on top of your work. Work for a given unit will be accepted up through 1 week past the test for that unit. So do you have to take the quiz that's assigned today? You should, but if you fall a little bit behind, that's okay. You have 1 week past the unit test to turn in any missing work for that unit. After that date, the unit would become closed and locked. So a quick example, which I have down here at the bottom, is if your Unit 1 test is on 120, Unit 1 work would be accepted through 127. 7 days later, 1 week later. After that 127 date, Unit 1 is locked and no other work is going to be accepted. So this really helps you to stay on top of your work, keep up with the class. It's a good thing. It really is a good thing. So today's essential question, this is just a quick reminder of what your 3 portions are that you need to answer for me. Is first, I'd like to know what grade did you earn in your math class last semester? Secondly, what do you plan to do differently this semester? And lastly, where do you find the answer keys? Please fill in the blanks. Click on blank, then blank. So have your answers to these 3 questions ready, and I'm going to show you how you get your 15 points for the day. You have to turn it into the Dropbox. And here's how you do that. So if you want to click pause real fast and log into your math class, then you can do these steps right along with me. So press pause, and when you're ready, you can press play. So step number 1, you're going to click on Dropbox, which is in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Step 2, you're going to click on Submit Assignment. Step number 3, you are going to pick the basket for the Dropbox that you would like to submit to. There's like a little down arrow right here. So if you click on that down arrow, it's going to give you a lot of boxes to choose from. The box we're choosing for right now is Week 1 Math Orientation. Right in the comment area right here, you're going to answer all 3 parts of the essential question. So what grade did you have last semester? What do you plan to do differently? And how do you find your answer keys? Once you have that all typed in, press Submit. And that goes straight to me. So your quick to-do list for the rest of today. Read the announcements inside the classroom. Turn in today's essential question response to the Math Orientation Dropbox. We just went over how to do that. And our actual math coursework starts on Tuesday, 1/20. 1/19 is a holiday. So all you're doing the very first week of school, if you are starting SCOA on time, you're not starting late, all you're doing this first week is getting yourself oriented to each class, watching all of your orientation videos, and getting ready for school, basically. Okay, so at this point, all students, you guys are able to log out and leave, except for pre-calculus kids. Please hang out for just a moment. So thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, you can always call me, email me, text me. So pre-calc students. There's just a couple weird things about pre-calc, so let's go over that. You guys have checkup assignments. These are worth 10 points each, and they are credit, no credit. You do need to show all of your work and steps in your own handwriting. So these are pretty much turned in every other day. A typical day in pre-calc, one day will be read the lesson and do the checkup. The next day is the quiz on that lesson. Repeat. So read the lesson, do the checkup, the next day is the quiz. Your answers for the checkups will always be posted in doc sharing each week, so it's your responsibility to check your work, make sure you're understanding. If you have any questions about, like, say, oh, I don't understand how number 3, they got log of 15, email me, call me, I'll help you. You do need a graphing calculator for this class. You can find plenty of free ones online if you don't want to go purchase one, and one place you can find one is desmos.com. Textbooks. So there's no textbook that goes along with the K-12 class, but what I recommend is that you come drop by SCOA and check out a hard copy of a book that the other local high schools use. You will not have any assignments out of it, but it's great to use as a reference. Say you're trying to look up the distance formula. Instead of clicking through all the slides trying to find the formula, you can just look it up in the textbook. So if you'd like to come to SCOA to check one out, just set up a time with me to do so, and then I will make sure I have one ready for you. Same goes for you guys. You guys do need to keep on the same track, just like the other students, and you have 1 week after the test before that unit closes and locks down. And then each unit you have one assignment called a practice worksheet. This is worth extra credit, and you get a maximum of 10 points per assignment. So all your work and steps must be shown, and that's how you guys earn extra credit. And lastly, there's quizzes, and each quiz has, well, no, I shouldn't say each one, but almost every one has a teacher graded portion. So once the grade has this little star next to it, then you know it's been graded by me. So let's say you first take a quiz and you see 10 out of 20 points and you're like, yikes, that is like such a low score. Well, it's probably because there's teacher graded portions that I need to insert the grades. So once I grade it, do you see how I add the little star next to it? That's how you know that has become your permanent grade. So when you first take something that has a lot of teacher graded sections, please don't freak out by the low grade. It's not permanent until I go in and add the little star and adjust the grade to it. And that's it. So I hope that you guys have a great day, and email me with any questions. Thanks so much. Bye.